Isaac blessed Jacob, and that blessing followed Jacob. Because you need to know what is the blessing. The blessing is the spiritual force of empowerment that prospers a man wherever he goes, that empowers the man to excel in life. That is the blessing. It's a spiritual force. So it is the responsibility of fathers to bless their children. It is the responsibility, especially of godly fathers, to bless their children. It is so powerful that the blessing of the father is as strong as the blessing of God. The blessing of the father is as strong as the blessing of God. But it is the work of the father to bless their children. See the problem. We ended up with fathers who don't understand the power of the blessing, not to talk of blessing us. Some of us ended up with the fathers who don't know the importance of blessing, and they didn't think about it. And so you were not blessed from home. You were not blessed by your father. You were not blessed at all by a godly father. And the reason for your struggle is because of the absence of the blessing in your life. Hey, the success of a child is not dependent on skills and ability. No. There's something else that empowers a child to be successful in life. It's beyond skills. It's beyond ability. Because we know that no mortal rises in the mortal realm until an immortal force comes upon him. That is what the blessing is. And it comes from godly fathers. It's one of the inheritances that a child receives from a father. The inheritance of the blessing. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Not the inheritance of a car, not the inheritance of land, not the inheritance. That one is secondary. Because we have seen fathers that leave the inheritance of land without leaving the inheritance of godly virtues and the blessing. Those children grew up and became drug addicts and now had to hang on drugs from the things their fathers left. I heard the story of a young man. The father left off to 50 plots of land in the city. The guy finished all of them. And the question is, what did he do with them? How can somebody sell land to buy a car? Are you normal? Are you normal? How can somebody sell land to eat point and kill? Are you normal? It's a sign of virus. So you see people sell land, something, a fixed asset, something that was there generations before you were born, something that was there before your father was born. You know fear. You sold it for 5 million, but never had a plan of what to do with the money and be collecting it small. You sold it to go to Lagos and eat fresh fish in the latest hotel in Lekki. Are you normal? You are not. Some sell it to buy cars. How do you sell a transgenerational inheritance to buy perishables? Who does that? But it's because the father's blessing and the father's wisdom was missing. Because the greatest thing to give to your children is not your wealth, but the wisdom that created that wealth. That is the greatest thing to leave behind. You don't leave behind wealth. You leave behind the wisdom. And you know the powerful thing, when the wisdom that created the wealth is given to them, forget it. They will create their own wealth without yours. Yours become a stepping stone that launches them into the world of greater possibilities. It is a responsibility of the fathers. So when the fathers bless their children, it's like putting the children on your shoulders so they can see what you don't have the capacity to see. It is a responsibility of the father to bless the children. Because this morning, I want to do something. The Bible talks about the blessing of the Lord in the book of Proverbs chapter 10 from verse 22. The blessing of the Lord that makes rich and does not add any sorrow. When that blessing comes upon you, it unlocks riches in your life. When that blessing comes upon you, it empowers you to get results where your colleagues cannot get results. When that blessing comes upon you, it empowers you to be a wonder amongst your friends and your colleagues. Sometimes your result is 20 times bigger and better than that of your colleagues, and they wonder what is working for you. What is working for you is the blessing released upon you by your father that makes room for you. Because when Esau came back and was begging for the father to bless him, he said, I have no more blessing remaining. I have made him your Lord. Hey, the man just spoke. How can you make him Lord by speaking? It was not just speaking, it was an invocation. Forces were invoked and released upon the child. When a father blesses a child from his soul, you invoke ancestral blessings and release it upon that child. No force in hell can drop him. No force in hell can cut him down. When a blessed child appears on the scene, it doesn't matter the conspiracy in the office, because you cannot cause what God has blessed.